Let's call Henry F Schuelke III. His phone number is 202-772-5815, Washington, D.C.
Sorry,
Hank Schuelke.
is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hello, Hank Schuelke. My name is Rudy Davis. My phone number is 972-839-9848. I'm a Bible-believing follower of the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm a friend of Schaeffer Cox. I've read 17 days of trial transcripts. I've read the book by Sidney Powell, License to Lie. She describes you as a man of justice riding in on a white horse, going to set everything straight because you were ordered as a special investigator by Judge Emmett Sullivan. I don't agree with her assessment of you, sir. Why have you left Schaeffer Cox rotting in a cell in a CMU prison for 3.5 years? Why have you left Schaeffer Cox left to be serving a 26-year prison sentence, and you're supposed to be setting things straight? You know that Bottini committed a liar for hire, basically had Gerald J.R. Olson go in as a government informant, and there was Brady evidence that was not released in Schaeffer Cox's case. Not only was government informant J.R. Olson sent in to provoke Schaeffer Cox to violence, but you had Bill Fulton sent in, threaten Schaeffer Cox's life, threaten his family's life. You had the Office of Children's Services go in and threaten Schaeffer Cox's children. And you're supposed to be the guy that's going to set everything straight with your report, and yet nobody was prosecuted. Why is Bottini still walking around free? Why is Mary Beth Kepner still walking around free? Why is Scrocky, Stephen E. Scrocky, U.S. federal prosecutor, why are they walking around free? Why is Miss Yvonne Lamoureux walking around free if you're setting everything straight and going to clean up the corruption in our federal prosecutors? Why is my friend Schaeffer Cox, why was he sent to Supermax CMU prison ran by the CIA and they were implementing torture on him, Chinese thought reform? Why is all that going on if your report is supposed to clean up the corruption in our federal court system? Well, my suggestion is that your report didn't clean up anything, and you know the best way to handle corruption is to be in charge of the so-called investigation. Is that what's going on? Did you and Judge Emmett Sullivan get into a deal so that y'all could be in charge of the investigation, and Senator Ted Stevens dies mysteriously in a plane crash, Nick Marsh commits suicide, but yet none of the evildoers that came against Senator Ted Stevens that withheld Brady evidence, none of them were prosecuted, and the same prosecutors that came against Senator Ted Stevens and Jim Brown in Sidney Powell's book and also came against Schaeffer Cox, none of those people are held responsible. They all still have high-paying jobs. Some of them are White House counsel, and Schaeffer Cox is still in prison, wakes up in prison, eats his dinner in prison, and goes to sleep at night in prison, and nobody does anything about it. But you wrote a 500-page report and supposed to set everything straight. I would suggest to you, sir, that you haven't done anything, and that Miss Sidney Powell's portrayal of you in that book, License to Lie, as some big cowboy riding in off the sunset to set everything straight with a 6-shooter on your side is absolutely ludicrous. And it makes me mad that Schaeffer wakes up in prison every day and everybody's forgot about him. And not only that, but Connie, Lonnie, and Karen Vernon shouldn't be in prison either. Would somebody like to answer some questions on what the hell is going on? My name is Rudy Davis, and I would love to interview you. And if I'm wrong, maybe you can set me straight. Maybe you can tell me there's things going on. But it appears to me that Schaeffer Cox is looking at 20 more years in prison, separated from his family, children he's never seen, and nobody's doing a damn thing about it. Are you kidding me? I don't even know when it hung up on me.